deadly Antioch school shooting putting safety under the microscope.
Dr. Battle, could you answer the parents' question about them not being satisfied?
Fox 17 News taking your questions directly to Metro school leaders.
A new weapons detection system online at one Metro school. Why parents and students say it's not enough.
The first hurdle cleared. The next step for controversial school vouchers in Tennessee.
A federal funding freeze, what the Trump administration wanted to do before a judge stepped in.
A famous name creating buzz in the Titans front office. Is Sanders the answer to the QB question? Fox 17 News at 9 starts now.
Middle Tennessee's only primetime news. This is Fox 17 News at 9, your Code Red station.
We begin tonight with breaking news involving another threat of mass violence at a Metro school. Police say a 14-year-old boy at John F. Kennedy Middle School told other students not to come to class tomorrow and threatened to bring a gun. The school district has seen at least 6 other threats that we've told you about following last week's deadly shooting at Antioch High School.
Antioch High School students, speaking of, returning to class today for the first time since the shooting. They were met with a weapons detection system that the district is testing out along with a third school resource officer. Fox 17 News' Amanda Chin showing us how students feel about the added layer of protection.
It was an emotional day back at school for everyone here at Antioch High School, and you can see next to me, this is the sign that explains to students what to remove before going through these weapon detection systems. It's something many students we spoke with have been calling for in all schools. When students walked through Antioch High School on Tuesday, they were met with a new AI weapons detection system, Evolve.
Coming back to school, at first it was chaotic, because everybody's getting the hang of metal detectors and being back in the building.
This comes after police say a 17-year-old student shot and killed 16-year-old Jocelyn Correa Escalante before he killed himself.
Just now, because someone has passed away, we're just now getting metal detectors.
Metro Schools says the previous weapons detection system at Antioch High School failed to detect the shooter's gun. While students are seeing new safety measures put into place, they're also calling for gun safety measures and better mental health wellness checks at school.
Tennessee shouldn't have had to suffer through another school shooting. A mother and father shouldn't have had to come home with empty hands from the hospital.
Cheryl Mays is a Metro School Board member who represents Antioch High School. Why did it take one person to die in order for some of these safety actions to be put in place? What would your response be to those students who directly said that to us this morning?
I don't think it took one person to die for safety measures. We've had safety measures in place. We can't always control what someone else is going to do.
A spokesperson for Metro Schools says overall the process went smoothly today with these new weapons detection systems. However, they do plan to get feedback from staff and students. Reporting outside of Antioch High School, I'm Amanda Chin, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Well, the parents of the 16-year-old shot to death in the Antioch High School cafeteria also shared their thoughts with Fox 17 News about the security upgrade. You can see that interview on our Fox Nashville YouTube channel. And while you're there, subscribe.
Our coverage continues now in Hermitage, where a church hosted a night of healing, reflection, and renewal in response to the Antioch High School shooting. It was for the entire community, but the effort was largely led by young people not much older than the young woman who lost her life in the school cafeteria last week. The Mount Gilead Praise and Worship team was joined by the Lipscomb University Gospel Choir. Mount Gilead's college and youth pastor says in dark days like this, people need hope.
It can seem like we are living in hopeless times. And so the least I can do is be a voice for my generation and be able to provide that hope through the gospel of Jesus Christ and be able to pray and worship collectively and corporately, because I believe that when we come together and do that, healing takes place.
The evening included a prayer service, a tribute to the victim in the case at the high school, Jocelyn Correa Escalante, along with mental health support.
Well, some Metro students say that they're not ready to go back to class until they see changes in school safety. Some Antioch High School students walked out of class to push state lawmakers for changes. They say that they do want stricter gun and mental health laws.
I don't want to have to worry about any of my little sisters or my friends or any of my classmates being killed, like just in school. School is supposed to be like a second home for us, and it's been turned into something traumatic and brutal. It's a lot.
Well, some of these students did not get to return to class. The district says it is policy that a parent must sign a student back into school. A lot of people talking about this, as you can imagine, and of course we want to know what you think. Should Metro school leaders put metal detectors in every high school? Almost 250 people weighing in here tonight. 92.6% of respondents say yes, 7.4% say no. Still time to weigh in and cast your vote. This poll is live right now. To vote, just scan the QR code on your screen, or you can go over to our X page, and we will show you updated poll results here a little later in the newscast.
Covering the Capitol, Governor Lee's school voucher bill took a step forward today during day 2 of the legislature's special session. It was approved by the House Education Committee, but not without some pushback.
It's the primary bill that brought lawmakers together in this special session. The governor's plan to allow up to 20,000 families to get state money to help pay for private school tuition.
No public school loses even 1 red cent due to this bill. And in fact, if a child leaves due to disenrollment for any reason, the amount that they receive, if it were to reduce their TISA funding, would be the same.
That's the sell. Public schools get the same money they're getting now, with the money for vouchers coming from the general fund. If children leave, their old school still gets its money.
So you're telling me that we're going to fund 2 school systems and that we are going to pay twice, and we're asking taxpayers to fund 2 school systems.
The battle lines are well defined along party lines. Democrats fighting vouchers and the Republican supermajority backing the governor. But before the House Education Committee vote, some regular folks had their say. Among them, Walter Blinks Jr. of Nashville, a new father and a former bullying victim.
If the only way to protect the current system is to keep families trapped in it, then we have a massive issue on our hands.
And on the other side, the Tennessee Education Association, representing public school teachers. The union says the state's pilot program showed students who got vouchers performed worse, not better.
Comparing such outcomes is going to be made much more difficult under this proposal, as it does not require the students to take TCAP tests used by public schools.
And this just in, President Trump congratulating our state lawmakers on their efforts to pass the school voucher bill. In this post that just came out on Truth Social a short time ago, Mr. Trump said, I'm quoting here, "We will very soon be sending education back to the states where it belongs."
All right, a nice surprise today. Warmer than what we've been expecting. I almost, I walked out being like, do I need a coat?
Yeah,
do I
know.
really need one?
I didn't bring one.
Yeah. Felt like freedom.
You all just like to live dangerously.
Yeah. And when you walk outside and it's 45 when I was coming back from dinner.
Yes.
And I thought, boy, this is nice.
It
and
is.
It's 45 degrees. That tells you something right there, Yeah, we're looking at some nice weather over the next couple of days. I'm calling it fall spring right now because we continue to warm going into tomorrow. Highs expected in the 60s for tomorrow afternoon. We just squeaked out 60 degrees today, and we should be a little bit warmer as we head through the afternoon hours on Wednesday. Sunny and nice for tomorrow. As we get into Thursday and Friday, though, back to reality with the rain around. But really, temperatures not looking too bad. We will continue to feel fairly warm for this time of year. Live look here from our Broadway camera, and our temperature right now sitting at 50 degrees, comfortable with a mainly clear sky. And as we head into the evening hours tonight, we'll continue to find mainly clear skies here, nothing on radar. And we'll get one more day like it for Wednesday. Lows tonight drop back into the mid to upper 30s for Nashville, low 30s out towards the Cumberland Plateau. We're going to walk you through this rain chance that is on the way as we head toward Thursday and Friday. Timing it out, how much we could end up with, all in your Fox 17 Code Red forecast. Megan.
The judge pausing the plan to freeze federal funding, what the Trump administration says it was trying to do.
And mass deportations in blue cities, why some of those cities' leaders are in the hot seat tonight. Tonight, President Trump is ready to play let's make a deal with federal workers. It's all part of an effort to reduce the size of the federal government. The White House says Mr. Trump is offering workers what is essentially a buyout. People who agree to quit really soon, get this, they get 7 months, not only of pay, but benefits as well. But they've got to make a decision by this coming Monday. That offer is being made available to all federal workers.
New tonight, growing confusion surrounding the move by the Trump administration to freeze federal funding on things like grants and aid. A federal judge just blocked that order temporarily, but these types of programs cover everything from education to nonprofits. The Trump administration says it's to make sure that all of these things federally line up with the president's executive orders that he passed here recently. Joining us now is Andy Borchers, professor of Lipscomb University College of Business. Thanks for being here, Professor.
Good to be with you tonight.
Well, one of the main complaints here is about how vague this order is.
That's exactly the case. There are potentially thousands of programs that run the gamut from international to a very local, and exactly what's in and what's out is not clear. The second lack of clarity is exactly those programs that are put on hold for how long. Many of the organizations that are potentially affected run on very, very tight margins. And so the concern is that they have to meet payroll. They have, for example, or may have a rent due on a building that they're renting to carry out whatever their activity is. And that may be due next Monday. But they may have uncertainty. So do they operate? If so, how? And what risk are they running that potentially running out of funds and not receiving funds that were expected?
Well, what programs or agencies are you seeing right now that have the greatest impact?
Certainly, I would turn to the reporting, which makes clear that many of the services in areas like healthcare and children and higher education and international aid, but it's entirely difficult to identify exactly what's in and what's out.
And as of right now, of course, that federal judge just blocked the order. That's temporary, though. When can we expect some clarity?
Well, we've already received some clarity. There was yesterday's release, and then today there was a clarifying release. There were some questions about Medicaid. Well, that's now been, that payment portal's been turned back on. So we may see a kind of bits and bytes come out to help resolve some things. But there are programs that are certainly going to be unclear. And for those organizations, as I said, run many times with very tight budgets, they may not have certainty for days. And it will be quite a firestorm.
All right, we're watching and waiting to see how this all shakes out. I assume we will be getting more developments by the day here. Andy Borchers, professor at Lipscomb University College of Business. Thank you.
Thank you much.
Well, not too bad as far as temperatures go this evening compared to where we've been in the past. We'll take the upper 40s to around 50 at the moment here. A few folks out and about downtown enjoying Broadway this evening as well. Nice conditions as we head into Wednesday. Warmer conditions, I might add. Today we did reach 60 degrees. We're going to be even warmer as we head into tomorrow, reaching about 62 or so. As we check it out, 49 our temperature here at 10 o'clock. Up to about 58 by the afternoon hours with mainly sunny skies, and that'll continue as we head into the early evening, that clear sky. We get into Thursday and things will begin to change a little bit here. We've got some rain that'll be rolling in the late morning hours, in fact, and we'll pick up as we head more into Thursday night, early Friday. So the bulk of the rain looks to come in Thursday evening into the overnight hours. That's going to be where we have most of the rainfall falling, but we'll start to see those showers as early as Thursday morning, and they will linger likely through much of Friday. The good news, I don't see severe weather as something we need to be concerned with, but this could be a good rain for us. 1 to 2 inches of rain possible, especially in our northwestern counties. So let's walk you through timing. This is 6 a.m. Thursday morning, warm front coming in here. That'll be the area that we find the first rain coming in off the warm front, with the system still working its way out of Texas. Here's Thursday midday, showers pushing through, most likely a break for the afternoon hours with mostly cloudy skies, and then another chance for showers building with the front coming in by Thursday night. Here's Thursday 10 p.m. and then overnight into early Friday morning, we will see most of that rain shifting into East Tennessee. I do think we hang on to some cloud cover for Friday afternoon, and that may bring in a few light showers. Probably won't add up much in the rain gauge. Most of that rain will have fallen through the overnight into early Friday morning. But as I mentioned, it'll be a good rain for a lot of us, and especially for those south of 40 and east of I-65, where we desperately need some of those showers. So we check out our forecast here. This is how much rain we're expecting. 1 to 2 inches area wide. Slightly higher amounts do appear to be in our northwestern counties. A couple could reach 2 to 2.5 inches of rain. So a good soaking rainfall for us. And then we dry out as we head into the weekend. We'll talk numbers, how we're looking as far as temperatures go for your weekend, and how we're looking as we head more into the middle of February. That's all coming up in your Fox 17 Code Red forecast.
A new crackdown on illegal immigration and on mayors of cities President Trump says are being uncooperative. I'm Christine Frizzell with the latest.
Rising costs, what's fueling the hike surrounding the price of eggs? In Operation Crime and Justice, President Trump's deportation plan leads to the arrest of members of the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua.
Fox 17 News' Christine Frizzell here to show us how these busts are impacting so-called sanctuary cities. And you can let us know what you think by scanning the QR code that will appear on your screen.
New York City, the latest target for the Immigration and Customs Enforcement crackdown, which has resulted in more than 4,000 arrests of undocumented migrants, including alleged members of the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua, behind this apartment takeover in Aurora, Colorado. One of its ringleaders reportedly arrested in the Bronx. The new Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem accompanying ICE agents on their early morning raids.
We are getting the dirtbags off these streets.
New York City also targeted in another way. Its mayor, along with the mayors of Boston, Chicago, and Denver, asked to testify before the House Oversight Committee next month to answer for their city's sanctuary policies, which Chairman James Comer says hinder the ability of federal law enforcement officers to effectuate safe arrests and remove dangerous criminals from American communities.
Bringing a collaboration of state, local, federal authorities is the best way to attack any problem. And when I look at this, not having the Chicago Police Department working with the federal authorities to attack the worst of the worst, get these illegal migrants out of the community, it just defies all logic.
A common phrase from top border officials, the worst first, though the White House clarified that plenty of others will also be deported.
If you are an individual, a foreign national, who illegally enters the United States of America, you are, by definition, a criminal.
One of President Trump's new executive orders lays out potential consequences for so-called sanctuary jurisdictions, which seek to interfere with federal immigration enforcement, saying he will undertake any lawful actions to block those jurisdictions from receiving federal funds. In Washington, I'm Christine Frizzell.
During that story, we had a QR code linked up to this poll asking the question, do you think sanctuary cities should be punished financially for not cooperating with President Trump's deportation efforts? And the results here on your screen, 465 people weighing in, 88.4% say yes, 11.6% say no.
Tensions high at tonight's school board meeting over the lack of metal detectors in all MNPS schools. I'll have more coming up in just a few minutes.
I'm Kayla Gaskins in Washington. Coming up, how much the migrant crisis is costing taxpayers and how much President Trump's new border czar says the deportation plan will cost.
We're less than 7 days outside of a tragic shooting. We've been responding to that, and we've been making sure that those families are comfortable.
We're actually like 2 years out.
Yeah, so
Continuing coverage of the deadly Antioch High School shooting as parents want answers from school leaders about what the system is doing to help keep their children safe.
Now,
One parent brought a petition with him with thousands of signatures asking for metal detectors at all high schools.
Well, Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar live in South Nashville, where the school board meeting just wrapped up.
That's right, it did. And parents remain unsatisfied as MNPS says they need more time to roll out the weapons detection system in all schools. That parent in particular you mentioned was especially angry, speaking up at Wednesday's school board meeting to say enough is not being done despite Metro school efforts. The director of schools, Dr. Adrienne Battle, had previously been against metal detectors, but did a 180 after parents and students demanded them following the Antioch High School deadly shooting. MNPS at Antioch High School has a pilot program for the weapons detection system, but parent Lee Ann Evans, who says he helped create that petition, now has more to say and wants more to be done, especially now, not later.
We are tired of seeing school shootings happen and you all sit here and talk about the good things that happen. The bad thing that happened is what we want to see you come up with the answer for.
During the meeting, Dr. Battle pointed out MNPS wants to see how it goes with the pilot program before expanding the metal detectors to the district. They also say they need to get funding because it's expensive, but parents don't care. They want a solution now to prevent another shooting. We will have the full story, including the heated exchange, coming up at 10 o'clock. Reporting live here in Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
In Operation Crime and Justice, Metro Police are asking for the public's help to find a person behind a deadly shooting that happened on busy Interstate 40. Take a look. This is video of the dash cam of a tractor trailer eastbound on 40. You can see a white minivan there following closely behind the white car. Now, at one point, the minivan pulls up next to the white car. Police say that's when someone inside the van opens fire, starts shooting, killing Uriel Miller in the other vehicle. If you know anything about this I-40 shooting, you are urged to call Metro Police.
Well, new tonight, tracking the price tag of President Trump's mass deportation plan. Fox 17 News' Kayla Gaskins digging into the numbers.
President Trump's border czar Tom Homan figures the plan for mass deportations of illegal migrants will cost around $86 billion to execute.
This operation is going to be expensive, but at the end of it, we're going to save the taxpayers billions of dollars.
In 2023 alone, U.S. taxpayers shelled out more than $150 billion on caring for undocumented migrants.
We're spending multiple $billion every year on free hotel rooms, free plane rides, health care, our school systems, our hospitals, our trauma centers, our social services.
That estimate calculated by the new Department of Government Efficiency, known as DOGE. The financial burden weighing heavily on sanctuary cities and states who have spent millions, and in some cases billions, on migrants bussed there from Texas, courtesy of Governor Greg Abbott to send the message this is not just a border state problem. Chicago has spent more than $574 million on migrants since 2022.
I got a great way how we can what we can do with this budget. Let's start with cutting off illegals, getting free everything. Free housing, free schooling, free food.
Denver has spent $356 million since 2022. The state of Massachusetts has spent over $1 billion just on migrant shelters since September of 2023. And in fiscal year 2023, New York City spent nearly $1.5 billion on asylum seekers. Undocumented migrants typically don't qualify for work permits. Critics argue expanding access to legal work for migrants could lessen the financial cost for the government.
Tom Homan has said the success of Trump's deportation plan will depend on what resources Congress gives them. On Capitol Hill, I'm Kayla Gaskins.
In the economy, if you've been at the grocery lately, you know egg prices are high, and the experts say they won't be going down anytime soon. The average price hit $4.15 a dozen nationwide back in December. Some areas are now paying twice that. The U.S. Department of Agriculture predicts costs will soar another 20% before the end of the year. Some stores are now limiting just how many eggs you can buy. The latest bird flu outbreak, which started back in 2022, is getting much of the blame. When the virus is found on a poultry farm in this country, the entire flock is slaughtered, then reducing supplies.
In your health news, medical experts say cardiovascular disease kills one person every 33 seconds. But new research performed in space could repair damaged hearts.
What do heart muscle cells, NASA's SpaceX Crew 8 mission, and the International Space Station have in common? They're all part of new out-of-this-world research that launched in March, like literally.
The astronauts were amazing. They conducted many experiments, procedures on the ISS.
Chen-Hai Zhu and her team at Emory University School of Medicine sent these heart muscle cells to space to see if microgravity would help them better survive. Right now, she says a damaged heart muscle cannot regrow itself, but there's hope that transplanting new cells can, one day, help repair that damage. However, many new cells die after being transplanted into a patient.
So if you can find ways to improve cell survival, then those methods will be helpful for the cell transplantation applications.
After about a week in space, Dr. Zhu got the cells back and says the ones that survived went through molecular changes which allowed them to live. She says those changes were likely due to the stress of space travel. And if that could be replicated, it could help future cells withstand heart repairs.
If we can turn off those molecules on Earth, we might be able to help the cells survive and overcome other stressful situations.
Before sending the heart and muscle cells to space, Emory University says researchers first tried to replicate microgravity on Earth by using machines which constantly move the cells around. Well, we've been fairly quiet this evening, and we'll continue to see mainly clear skies as we go through the overnight. Gorgeous picture here from our South Nashville camera and downtown Nashville. And the radar picture showing a similar image with mainly clear skies. Nothing on radar really across a lot of the country at the moment here. Our next weather maker, though, moving in out of Texas, that is going to swing our way as we head towards Thursday, bringing us a pretty good chance for showers. You've got one more day to get the car washed, and beyond that, Thursday and Friday, I'll give you the red light just because we've got that rain around. Decent rain, I might add, anywhere between 1 to 2 inches possible for us here. But this warm weather is not going anywhere. Our average line in yellow, and what we are looking at over the next 7 days, temperatures will be well above that. We're looking at those highs in the 60s for the most part. We'll talk more about if this will last as we head more into February. That coming up in your Fox 17 Code Red forecast.
Katie, thank you. Also ahead, off the charts, how the price of prescription drugs is threatening to bankrupt America's healthcare system.
And rough night on the Rocky Top, how Kentucky snapped the Vols' win streak at home.
Eighth-ranked Tennessee Vols have been dominant at home this season and came into tonight 11-0 on Rocky Top. Vols welcoming in 12th-ranked Kentucky Wildcats to Thompson Bowling Arena, who are not only riding a 2-game losing skid, but also without their star guard, Lamont Butler. So it certainly felt like Tennessee would have the advantage in this one, but that was not the case tonight. Tennessee down early as point guard Zakai Ziegler feeds Felix Okpara with a wide-open alley-oop. Cuts the Kentucky lead to 2, and then late in the first half, Tennessee with its first lead thanks to Chaz Lanier with a 3. Vols up 33-30. Except after that, Big Orange goes cold from beyond the arc. Vols ended up shooting 45 3-pointers in this game. They only made 11. Meanwhile, Wildcats start to gain some momentum. Ortega away with the dunk. He gives the Cats a 7-point lead. Finished with 14 on the night. Vols would bring it within 1 right here thanks to the clutch 3 by Lanier with 30 seconds to play, but 4 Kentucky free throws in the final 30 seconds would seal the win. Kentucky takes down Tennessee 78-73. Today marked the first day of practice for the Senior Bowl down in Mobile, Alabama, where the Titans front office was in attendance evaluating top players ahead of this year's draft. Titans with the #1 overall draft pick, and both head coach Brian Callahan and general manager Mike Borgonzi were able to meet with top prospect quarterback Shedeur Sanders, the son of Hall of Famer Deion Sanders. And here's what Borgonzi had to say.
Really enjoyed talking to him. He's smart, engaging, confident kid. We had a great conversation with him. It wasn't that long. It was the first opportunity we had to really sit down and talk with him. And, this is a process, so we look forward to talking with him again.
Titans certainly in the market for a new quarterback. Quarterback Will Levis just wrapped up an underwhelming second year with the team, and head coach Brian Callahan says that Levis is looking to get outside help this offseason. Coach Callahan saying that he will be spending some time with former NFL quarterback Jordan Palmer, who is a renowned quarterback guru in the football world.
Really think Jordan's one of the better guys out there right now in terms of working with pro quarterbacks, and so hopefully that's a illuminating process for him, a different way of doing things. Some of the footwork, the base, some of the pocket movement things that have to improve. But I'm excited about that for him. I think it'll be really beneficial.
Callahan and the rest of the Titans front office staff will be at the Senior Bowl for the rest of the week, with the big game coming up on Saturday. I'll have more on that tonight at 10. But for now, Jill Jelnick, Fox 17 Sports, your Code Red station.
Coming up, we'll talk more about what the weather looks like as we head more into February, the trends for temperatures and precipitation.
And a drain on more than just your bank account, the impact of prescription drug costs. In Operation Crime and Justice, Metro Police arresting a former Antioch High School employee accused of inappropriate communication with a student on social media. Police say Clarence Davis, who served as a campus support staff member and assistant basketball coach, was arrested last night. The school suspended Davis earlier this month. He now faces 19 counts surrounding the one student victim, including aggravated sexual exploitation of a minor.
Economists say that Americans spend so much money on health care that it could bankrupt the health care system. One of the biggest expenses, prescription drugs. Full Measure Cheryl Atkinson spoke with watchdog group Public Citizen, which lobbied for new price controls.
President Trump, before he left office, put in, I believe, an executive order called Most Favored Nation drug policy. That it's my understanding, as I've asked everybody, it was never implemented. His idea was, the way I understood it, that the companies can't charge more for a drug here at home than they're charging in a foreign country, and that the result would be prices would go up somewhat in a foreign country but come down here, that right now we're subsidizing a lot of other countries that are charged much less. Do you have thoughts about that? Did you know about that?
I do know about that. I mean, I think, as you say, the initiative was never implemented, and we certainly don't think, based on the amount of influence that pharmaceutical companies have, the money that is sloshing around, it makes sense that it was never implemented and they were able to forestall it. And I also don't think it would have the impact that they claim. The idea that the American prices would adjust in that way. It's not happened previously. Other countries certainly have different amounts, and companies simply charge more in America because they can, and they would continue to do so.
Looking forward at issues that impact our health and the drugs that we take, what do you think is a message people should know about pharmaceutical industry money and lobbying?
That it is enormous, egregious, and it is not working for you. One stat we haven't talked about yet, 143 lobbyists is how many people, individual people, they hired to run around the Hill, to walk to the administration and tell them that the Inflation Reduction Act drug negotiations were a bad idea. That just shows the scope and scale of what they're able to achieve. And certainly, the types of goals they have don't align with what regular Americans want.
If you'd like to hear more, watch a replay of Cheryl's story at fullmeasure.news. While there, you can also check out her podcast, Full Measure After Hours, and be sure to watch for new episodes of Full Measure every Sunday morning at 7:30 right here on Fox 17.
Well, looking ahead to a full weekend of sports here on Fox 17. First up on Friday, it's men's college basketball. Indiana takes on Purdue. That game starts at 7.
Then on Saturday, a whole bunch of games. More college basketball. Creighton taking on Villanova at noon. Michigan and Rutgers. Tip-off for that game is at 2:30. And on Fox 17 in prime time Saturday night, more men's college basketball. The UConn Huskies taking on Marquette. That game starts at 7.
And then Sunday, we've got some women's college basketball. Tune in at 12:30 for an exciting matchup between USC and Iowa. That is Sunday right here on Fox 17.
Clear skies this evening. Pretty picture from our Metro Center camera. We had a gorgeous sunshine today, and we'll continue to see that as we head into tomorrow. I wanted to share this video sent in by Brian Watt. I love this video here showcasing at least 3 bald eagles. And boy, they were enjoying the sunshine I think, as much as everybody else was today. And of course, the warm weather will be with us once more for tomorrow, with those highs topping off in the low 60s. So thanks to Brian for sharing the video, and be sure to send in your pictures as well and your videos. We'd love to showcase them, and the easiest way that you can do that is to go to our website, fox17.com, click on Chime In. So if you go to fox17.com, you'll see this little red tab, hover over that, and then scroll down. You'll see an area that says Chime In. That is the easiest and quickest way for us to get your media on the air. So would appreciate you sending in your beautiful pictures over the next few days, at least through tomorrow. The rain will come by Thursday, but tomorrow morning it's not looking too bad here. We're above freezing. Crossville, Clarksville, and Nashville all sitting just above the freezing mark, although chilly. We're above freezing. This weekend's looking great too. Dare I say, even maybe to get out and go for a hike this weekend, Sunday. Our temperature at 65 degrees with a partly cloudy sky, and we will be dry as well on Saturday with 58 for the afternoon high. Maybe a bit soggy on Saturday, especially due to the rain that we are expecting for Thursday and for Friday. But it does look like we're going to dry out nicely for the weekend, and that'll carry over into the following week. We really do need the rainfall. I wanted to update you on our drought conditions here, and this will update on Thursday, so we'll have a new look at the map. Really won't change too much as far as improving. If anything, it may worsen a little bit. But the rain that we see on Thursday won't account for that new update for the drought situation here. So especially for those along and east of I-65 and south of 40, that's where we're really needing some rainfall here. In fact, extreme drought conditions through Bedford County and out towards Crossville and the Cumberland Plateau. As we head into more February here, so we're looking at the 5th. This is 8 to 14 days. So the 5th through the 11th, above average rainfall possible. So a fairly active pattern with temperatures looking to be a little above average as well. So perhaps not so much of a snowy variety, but more rain and maybe even some thunderstorms that we'll be looking at as we head more into February. Case in point, it looks like our mild weather will continue for the first few weeks of February. We're going to round out January on a mild note as well. 62 our temperature for tomorrow. We're at 58 for Thursday, and that'll be with cloud cover moving in. Showers it'll be around also. The bulk of the rain still looks to come in very late Thursday into Friday morning, and temperatures still quite warm there on Friday, around 65. The weekend we do dry out and into early next week. First day of February, by the way, Saturday. So Groundhog Day on Sunday, 65 and sunny. Monday and Tuesday, it looks like we stay mild with temperatures in the mid 60s with partly cloudy skies.
Katie, thank you. Still to come, more than just weight loss and diabetes, the new use for Ozempic.
And working to get your business, the changes coming to Starbucks. In your business news, Starbucks rolling out several changes, including the return of free refills. Refills are for dine-in customers only, and you're allowed to use your own cup. The Seattle-based coffee chain also brought back its condiment bar, allowing you to add creamer, milk, or sweeteners. Self-serve condiment bars were taken away from locations at the start of the COVID pandemic.
Looking ahead, Coca-Cola's rolling out a new flavor. It's called Coke Orange Cream. It's essentially a mix of orange and vanilla, and you will be able to buy it starting February the 10th. Coke says it's something that customers have been asking for. Now, it's not going to be a permanent offering, but the company says it will be available for purchase at least through the first part of next year.
Well, the popular diabetes drug Ozempic getting approved for a new use. The disease it is now being used to treat.
In health news, a popular injectable diabetes drug has now been approved to treat kidney disease.
Well, the FDA will allow Ozempic to be used for chronic kidney disease. A clinical trial found injections of the medication reduced the risk of kidney disease from getting worse.
Now, it also lowered the risk of kidney failure and cut the risk of death from heart disease. Kidney disease is a common complication for people who are living with type 2 diabetes.
A pause in federal funding for multiple programs around the country leads to confusion over who's getting money and who's not. I'm Matt Gelka in Washington, and I'll explain coming up.
A program that focuses on veterans in crisis, showing that we can make a difference in suicide risk. I'm Liz Bonus. We share their simple solutions. It is just ahead.